Good morning. Welcome to this panel. I'm really excited to be here and to be able to introduce you to our customers who are kindly accepted to share with us their experience and their journey with Appian. So as a first step, Ángel and Kate, I will ask you to introduce yourself, your role, and the company you're working for.
Okay. So hello, everybody, and thank you, Silvia, for inviting me to this meeting. So this is Ángel Valero. I am the Corporative CIO of Telefónica, and also I am the CIO for the B2B systems and services at Telefónica España as well. So my main area is first to deliver global services to the company for my CIO corporative role in order to deliver what we decide in the company that is global for the whole thing. No? One of these things is, for example, these process automation processes that we are talking today. And also in the B2B services, just to deliver services and systems to the B2B area in order to get the revenues and so on. I suppose that everybody knows Telefónica, but Telefónica is a telco, a media company. We operate in more than 15 countries. We have more than 40 billion of revenues, more or less, and 350 million of customers around the world. We operate mainly in 4 geographies, that is Germany, Spain, Brazil, and Hispanic America. And also in UK, we have done, as you know, recently a joint venture with Liberty Global, it's Virgin O2, and as we operate as O2 in the mobile thing. That's the thing.
Kate. Hey, hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Kate Goodhart. My role is the Head of Intelligent Automation at Jaguar Land Rover. So I'm responsible for the Centre of Excellence, and we utilise a number of automation technologies, including Appian, to really deliver value back to the business. And then in terms of Jaguar Land Rover as a company, we are a luxury automotive company. We make amazing products such as the Range Rover, the Defender, the Jaguar brand, and that's what we do. We sell those in over 100 countries.
So, telecommunication and manufacturing, there are 2 very complex markets with millions of very sophisticated processes across the whole organization. Can you share with us what are the main challenges and business challenges of your industry?
Okay, I'll try. I think I will summarize that for us, the main challenge is to recover our investments. No? What I want to say with this. First of all, in our sector, we are having a reduction of the margins. I suppose many of you have the same. First, because of the macroeconomic issues regarding the inflation, energy. For example, in Spain, the increasing of the power that we have to pay this year is more than 300 million euros because we have to maintain all our plants, antennas, CPDs, and everything. So it's affecting us very much. Of course, we cannot move this price to our customers. No? And the second thing is we have a price war in telecommunications, in the communications product, because we have a lot of low-cost companies that are entering in our market, and we as Telefónica are based in the quality of services, but they just go to price, no? And many customers think that the price is the only thing, and then we cannot up our prices, so we have to maintain this kind of war. For example, again in Spain, we have more than 150 companies of telecommunications. As you know, in America, in the United States, there are only 4. So I think that is very, very difficult to maintain our quality of services with kind of competition. And then it's a very regulated market. As you remember, here in UK, we tried to join with a company, and the regulation didn't allow us to do it. So again, we cannot do a kind of concentration in order to create more volume and trying to get efficiencies. No? At the end, we have to find efficiencies and try to make our processes more efficient. That is the reason that we are working here. And the second point I want to discuss here is the diversification. So as we have our products are going down, as you know, the voice is going down, the data is going up. So we are trying to find another areas to combine and sell our services around the telecommunications world. No? In the B2C segment, for example, we have moved to the product company, the voice, fixed line, and now we move to the customer, as every of you. And then we have moved again to the homes. So we are preparing and we are serving to our customers is moving to the home. And we are trying to sell services to the home. For example, we are selling security alarms in the homes based and connected with our networks, trying to sell solar panels. That is you can laugh at that, but it's true. So trying to, again, to maintain and to monitor these solar panels with our communication. So we are focusing more around our homes. And in the B2B segment, what we have done is to try to open a new space that is based on IT services. And again, IT services, as you already know as well, the margins are not so high as we had in telecommunications. Just for in telecommunications, we are investing 15% of our revenues in order to maintain just the quality of the service that we have to maintain our clients. No? So that is for me the huge impacts.
Thanks, Ángel. Kate.
And for us, I think anyone that's in any form of manufacturing will be well aware of the supply chain challenges. We've got such a great demand for our products. We've got a huge order book of cars that we're just really excited to build, but making sure that we've got the right parts and the supply chain to fulfill that is a real struggle for us at the moment. And then I think, secondly, it's an opportunity as well as a challenge, is electrification. So we've made a bold statement for all Jaguars from 2025 are going to be full electric, which is really exciting. We're really proud of that. But that means we've got to change our manufacturing facilities. We've got to change our processes. And again, the supply chain. So making sure that we're ready for that as well is huge for us.
Totally understand. Ángel, Telefónica has been a customer of Appian for many years. So you have launched a number of strategic initiatives leveraging on Appian. Can you share with us some of these initiatives? What has been the business benefit of that?
Okay, we started with Appian several years ago, and we started with digitalizing areas that were not digital users convinced. For example, data lawyers, compliance area, data privacy owner area. Then we had tried to do this before with other tools, but we failed. But with Appian, we found a way to do it. No? First of all, because Appian helped us to do this new way of working of Agile that everybody knows. I don't know how to explain it, but these kind of people didn't. We are talking about lawyers or something like this. They have to create these Agile methods, sprints, and so on. And for them, it was not easy to do it. But we convinced them, we used the method, and we did it. And the point is that they own the process, they own the tool and the platform, and they are the ones who are doing the next sprint, where they are doing the new capabilities, and so on. For example, in data lawyer thing, we created the process to create, sell, and close company in a digital way, integrated with electronic firm, and also integrated with blockchain in order to do the certificates that has to be approved by legal entities, so on. No? That is something that in 3-4 years was impossible to do it in Telefónica. No? So they created, and then we saw the experience, and then we moved to next step is to incorporate Appian in our core systems, so in our core telecommunication systems. In the B2B segment, the strategy what we have done for transforming our systems was based on what we call best of breed approach. No? So we are cherry picking the best product that we think for covering our process. And in the case of the more legacy, that is the provision. Provision is when you have to do the service to create the service and the communications in a home or whatever. The provision of these things, we have a very old and legacy system. So we decided not to transform them, but to create an API world. And with Appian, inside of this, we are creating the whole processes around the different products, for example, Salesforce for pre-sales and so on, CRM, and then getting the APIs that we have from these legacy products, and then create the end-to-end processes where the users can see all the provisioning thing in one single portal. They can follow the process where it is and so on. No? And this is huge transforming thing, and this is something that I think we are going to explore and in the future.
Thank you, Ángel. This is very insightful. I have an additional question for you. You are explaining to us a number of initiatives that Telefónica is putting in place as a customer of Appian. But Telefónica is also using Appian to deliver and to enhance the service that Telefónica is giving to their customers. Can you share something with us about this?
Yes. As I was saying at the beginning, in the B2B world, we are diversification regarding IT. No? Initially, we started to do this for defending our product, no? For defending communication. So we started to sell digital workplace services to the clients in order to cover the end-to-end thing, to sell CPD capabilities, virtual data storage and so on, in order again to maintain our thing. But we saw an opportunity in order to expand this portfolio of services, and we can see that we are able, as Telefónica, which at the end is a technological company, that we can create our portfolio with more products. No? And one open space that we can enter is the applications world. No? As you know, we have created a company that is called Telefónica Tech, that we are trying to improve and to move these kind of things. In particular, in Appian, we also have created a center of excellence for delivering and support our products, our projects that we have done internally, and we can use this in order to share and sell it to other clients. No? Even the product that we have done inside Telefónica to sell it to other clients, for example, this kind of legal thing or the compliance and DPO thing, we can productize and sell it, and also to give services to another customers that can give in the case that they want to ask Appian for us.
Thank you, Ángel. Kate, you are a recent customer of Appian. Can you share with the audience what has been your first application and business case and your first initiative on Appian, and what are you doing now?
Of course, yes. So given this is Appian Europe, this word might spark some emotion in the room, but the first project that we did was Brexit. So the impact of Brexit for Jaguar Land Rover was absolutely massive. The sheer volume and complexity of documents that we were going to have to deal with just to get parts across the border was just amazing, or scary, to be honest. So initially, Jaguar Land Rover thought, oh, well, we'll just hire a huge team of people to sit and churn through those documents. But we said, no, let us see if we can help you with a digital solution. So that's what we did. So it was hard graft, but with looking at Appian and a number of other automation tools, we've created a workflow package that the tax teams use, the various teams used throughout that process, which is quite a vast number of people that impacts. Our suppliers interact with it. We make sure we've got all the documents in place. In the right area, we can push back to the suppliers if we haven't got what we need. So we've been able to really make a robust process for that, which has been amazing. And the impact that that's had for us. I mean, firstly, if we couldn't do that and things were going to get stopped at the border, the impact for that would be massive. It would stop the manufacturing line. So the actual value of being able to continue that has been massive. Secondly, from a capacity liberation perspective, either we would have had to hire that team of poor people to sit and churn through those documents, or people would have been pulled from elsewhere to have to do that. So the fact that that hasn't happened means that either those people are out there doing more value-add tasks, or we didn't have to hire them, hence the cost saving. And then thirdly, because it's such a robust, auditable process that we've been able to build, we can now kind of use the legislation to our advantage and claim some duty payments back. So when you add all those three together, from a financial impact that that's had, it's been in the millions that we've been able to save, and that's been kind of agreed with our CFO and signed off by finance, so that's a genuine, recognised saving that we've been able to make back to the business with that solution.
Wow, this is really impressive. So following the success of this Brexit initiative, what other project you are now going on and in place?
Yeah, there's many. So given the success of that and the visibility that it's had, it's opened a lot of doors for us. So again, I mentioned at the start, supply chain is a huge issue for us. So again, we've created a workflow tool for as soon as there's an issue flagged from, say, one of the buyers from a supplier, they can raise that, it's tracked through the automation, and that enables us to react better and plan better based on that proper workflow solution. So that's in supply chain. We're also looking at vendor management in the manufacturing side, in quality. We're really excited about more things that we can do.
Good, good, very good to hear. And now, looking at the future, Ángel, I'm coming back to you. Looking at your near-term business priority, where you are looking at and what do you think Appian can be leveraged for your near-term business priority?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have three things, I think. First, this announce of Data Fabric. I've heard this meeting. I'm very, very happy to hear it because one of the challenges that we have in Telefónica when we enter in the core processes is how to manage this amount of data that we have. No? For example, we have 30,000 of things every day, have to move. So we have to replicate a lot of things, a lot of data, and that is something that we hope, and we are excited regarding this announcement that you have done. So I hope that after being telling to the Appian specialists that I am very, very interested in that as well. No? The second thing is to move ahead our processes to the customer, no? In order to create an end-to-end processes incorporating the process of the customer inside our processes. No? I think that is something that we have to work on. We are hoping that using portals perhaps is going to help us in order to do this because many times we are not just our process that we have to combine with the customer in order this open world of open APIs. They want to consume, for example, we are in the network as a service world in this moment in Telefónica or in the communications world in order to consume the services but not the whole thing. For example, you want to consume the quality of the services of the network or whatever thing. No? I think these kind of things has to come in order to create an end-to-end processes in an end-to-end thing. And the third thing is, as everybody is reluctant, is regarding the talent. No? So how Appian is going to help us in order to create more talent in our companies, in the center of training and so on, because I think it's something that everybody knows here.
Thanks, Ángel. Kate, what about you?
Yeah, we're really excited. So from this initial successes that we've had, we've got a really strong pipeline of future opportunities for Appian and for us to really leverage the technology. So as I mentioned, across quality, across compliance, all across the business. We've been really successful with RPA, and now we're looking to take that to the next level with the more intelligent capabilities. And then I think in order to do that at scale, we're going to start exploring the citizen development or the federated model. Up until now, it's been very controlled. We'd like to keep a hold of it, but the demand is there, so we're really excited about taking it to that next step.
Thank you. I have one last question for you, Kate. You have started the journey with Appian recently, so any advice for people starting the journey with Appian?
I think very similar to some of the things that were mentioned yesterday around start with an area where you've got that business buy-in. Having that is invaluable. And then don't focus on the tech side of it. Of course, that's very cool and very exciting, but really bring it back to that business value. What is the benefit that you're going to give back through that automation or through that workflow tool? And then kind of put a number on it. Don't be scared to. Put a number on it and then use that to then push it out to the business. And what I found has been quite helpful is try and spark that competition between departments. So for example, when we had that in finance and in the tax teams, then the purchasing teams are like, oh, what's that? And then start to kind of create that competition of, well, they're using it, I want to use it. That's been really helpful for us.
Ángel, I have also a last question for you. How do you see the future of process automation that you are in already from quite a long time?
I don't know, guessing here is, I think that we will come in the process as a service. No? Everything is as a service, so I think in the future we will have process as a service in order that we are going to consume the process as we need, not every time. So we don't create a process for the whole thing 24/7, but perhaps we start the process, we use it, then they close, and then the price, revenue, and so on could be changing. But I mean, as every industry is moving in that way, I think the process automation is moving as well.
Ángel, Kate, thank you very much for being with us today and for sharing your experience. I'm sure the audience found it very useful. Thanks again.